Okay. How was lunch?
Very good. Perfect.
In fact, it was very quiet at the beginning because the cameras were off.
Is that it?
The cameras on, I didn't even notice.
The cameras are gone and there were microphones on both sides.
So
of the
did
table.
we say anything?
No, the beginning, later on we did. The beginning it was a bit.
Are the cameras on every meal time? I normally do.
No.
Scrutinized.
Interestingly enough, a few years ago, we drank at lunch.
Then everyone
Well,
falls asleep in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, no, everybody but me. I'm the only one the alcohol didn't have any effect on, which is more or less how I was when I was a young man. I could drink all night, stay up all night, work, and it didn't make any difference. But we stopped drinking at lunch because it had a negative effect on you. You would have thought that it would have gotten more responses out of you, but it didn't. And not so much because you went to sleep, because in those days, I used to go around, if you were asleep, I'd go around and only maybe one in the afternoon would fall asleep. Nobody would fall asleep after that. Because they were always thinking that you were going to be next.
Please don't.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't politically correct, was it?
No, that was fine. No,
No, but I mean...
That, well, it depends.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I've had people at the seminar ask to be hit. Remember?
Yeah.
Last seminar.
Oh yeah.
Ask,
Sure.
sure.
From
Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah,
He wanted to punch him,
and it hit me. And but I haven't hit anybody physically since maybe 99-ish, thereabouts. And I had a guy who purported to be a third-degree black belt in something or other, and I knocked him on his ass. And then his girlfriend, who was also a black belt, or purported black belt, and I don't think she thought I'd hit a woman, but she was wrong. I knocked her on her ass, but I actually hurt her. I didn't mean to hurt her, but I didn't pull the punch as well as I did on him. So, but we have had people. And when I used to do the Germans, I had several Germans. When Boda was the translator, they wanted East German guys. And so I gladly hit a few of those. But I don't do that anymore. But I can make the rare exception. I can make the rare exception. If you really ask me in a nice enough way, I can knock you on your ass. Because I'm still a pretty big boy, and I still know how to hit hard. But this afternoon, and for those of you watching me on YouTube, if you email me or you contact me by Facebook, and if you ask me real nice, I'll break your fucking jaw. You know, real nice. And we'll put it on YouTube. Then you can have a sexual experience about it. This afternoon, we're going to talk about your quantum leap action plan, and we're going to go on and talk about growth, working capital, finance, internal, external acquisitions, by acquisitions, etc. And then we're going to have more role-playing. We're going to beat up a couple of the women in role-playing because they asked me very specially that they wanted to get a beating, so we're going to give them. We might even wait to the very end so we can put it on film. And but you got to ask me nice though. You can't just treat me like I'm just one of your casual observers here. But the seminar gets more interesting. Not to me, it's interesting from day one because we're going to be talking about stuff that you think is the most important about reference your action plan. When really the stuff we covered the first 3 days or 2.5, 3 days is the most important because it's building your self-esteem, building your self-worth, your self-image, your self-concept, so you can go on and do some of these things. Because if you walk in these rooms in London, Tokyo, and you have poor self-esteem, poor self-image, they're going to laugh at you. They're not going to be able to be put in a position where you can sell them your dream. And we've talked about leadership before lunch. And it's about selling them your idea, your dream, so you can get them to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it, not when they want them to do it. We also spent several minutes right before lunch talking about atmosphere at work, work environment, and how the beanbag, ping pong table, do what you want bullshit has permeated a lot of business models, but it changes. And just as it changed at Microsoft, Microsoft used to be a beanbag, ping pong table, etc., and now it's not. Google still is, I'm told, and Facebook still is, and some of the other companies that we've talked about that have just gotten started, but they change. Now, I don't think Ford Motor Company was ever a beanbag 100 years ago, ping pong environment, but the environments, the real important thing to remember is the environments when they first start the company is different than the environment 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years later. Microsoft is a classic example. Microsoft is like General Motors. Microsoft has big infrastructure, and it's also not growing at the rate it once did. So we talked about that, and whether you agreed or you didn't agree, most of you can understand that your ideas of what is normal, regular, and how things should be when you're 25, 26, 28, 30 is different than when you're 35, 38, and 40. It just is. And we obviously know, as my kids don't believe that I was ever 25 or 26, I mean, your reference changes. And now, at my age, I'm considered a Neanderthal. Don't feel like a Neanderthal. I feel more like still a young caveman. But, so, we'll talk about the money, and we'll have some role playing. And when Megan comes back this afternoon, we'll have her film some of the ladies that we're going to beat during the role playing. And we don't want to make you cry, but we might. We don't want to embarrass you, but we will. Okay. So just remember that for this afternoon. Okay, thanks.
Hold on, you wanted to do Collier's.
Oh, don't turn it off. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. See, a German that forgot. What the fuck? Okay, come up here, Collier.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is not a picture of Hermann Goering and Goebbels and a few others. Hold it. Oops.
Oops. So, got
This was a graduation last time that he attended the Castle Seminar. And this, he's going to replace the picture he's got behind his desk when we see him on these video conference calls that he's got with this one, more life size, so I can beat him at least spiritually from the back, and it's a good picture. But that's what the graduation looks like, and looks like I'm on drugs and my eyes glittering like that. But anyway, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me, Ricardo.